This is coverage you can count on. WGAL News 8 at noon starts now.
And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian Roach, joined by meteorologist Mary Ellen Pan here. Today is an alert day. We're monitoring some pretty dangerous heat throughout the Susquehanna Valley. I just stuck my head outside about 5 minutes before we went on there. It's a cooker out there.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's steamy, it's uncomfortable, and we have hot temperatures already, even at this hour. Now, the combination of temperatures well into the 90s and high humidity is leading to dangerous heat index values well over 100, between 100 and 105. That is the reason for the extreme heat warning that's in effect today and continues in effect tomorrow and even on Wednesday. And when we look at temperatures, it's already 93 in Gettysburg, 95 in Ephrata, 94 in Lebanon. We have 92 in Landisburg and Carlisle. Harrisburg at 90 degrees. Look at these dew points across the area, across the state in the 70s, low to mid 70s, indication of just how soupy and uncomfortable it is outside. It feels like 108 in Elizabethtown. When you factor in that humidity, it feels like 105 in Lancaster, 104 in New Freedom, and close to 100 there in York and Carlisle. You get the picture here, triple-digit heat indices. And as we head further into the afternoon, we're going to still be dealing with this dangerous heat. So definitely want to find a way to stay on the cool side. High pressure, a dome of high pressure dominating, not a cloud in the sky hardly, and you can see that it's pretty quiet across a good portion of the eastern third of the country. The next 12-hour forecast calls for the alert to continue through 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, because it is still going to feel quite warm even at that hour. Heat indices could still be reaching the 90s. It is going to be a possibly record warm night tonight. I'll talk about how close we'll come to the record low and highs for today and tomorrow. Plus, I'll let you know when we finally will see a cool down.
All right, thanks, Mary Ellen. Continuing our alert day coverage with a heat wave expected to push those temperatures even higher, as Mary Ellen just said. Experts say now is the time to take some extra steps to stay cool. News 8's Gabrielle Thomas is in Lancaster with some tips to keep you safe.
I'm standing here in front of St. Paul Lutheran Church. This location is one of the cooling centers here in the area, and experts say with the heat that we're expecting this week, visiting a cooling center will help keep you cool. Heat waves can be dangerous, and experts recommend staying inside, but if you choose to be outdoors, you should take extra steps to protect yourself. Doing things like limiting your time in direct sunlight and taking breaks in the shade will help keep you cool. Experts say it's best to avoid outdoor exercise during the hottest part of the day and wear light, loose-fitting clothing. Staying hydrated is key, but if you have an infant or an elderly loved one, it's important to pay attention to signs of heat exhaustion.
If you're sitting out there and you start sweating for no particular reason, that's definitely one of them. Dizziness, lightheadedness, and getting nauseous. You know, those are the main things to watch out for. If you get any of those, then it's time to take it inside.
Remember to stay hydrated during this heat wave. If you would like to find a cooling center near you, we have other locations across the Susquehanna Valley on our website, WGAL.com. Reporting here in Millersville, Lancaster County, I'm Gabrielle Thomas, WGAL News 8.
So on a day like this, electricity is really important, but right now more than 2,000 customers in Adams County are without power. The Adams Electric Co-op says it's because of a dropped power supply from Med-Ed, and most of the outages are in Littlestown Borough and Germany Township. Littlestown Borough has opened its municipal building on South Columbus Street as a cooling center for residents affected by the power outage. And we're joined now by Borough Manager Charles Keller of Littlestown. And Charles, for the people trying to escape the heat, what exactly do you have for them there at the center?
Well, basically, we've opened a cooling center. We're going to be open until they are able to restore power. They can come here, charge their phones, charge their oxygen units. We have everything here for that. Water. We're going to probably set up food trucks tonight because now I'm understanding this is going to be an extended period of time. People don't have facilities to cook. So this will be open until everything is restored. It's not only open to Littlestown Borough residents. If you're from Germany, Union, Mountjoy, I don't know if they've opened anything up, but anybody that needs some assistance is certainly welcome here.
To expand a little bit on what you just said, Adams Electric is telling us that the current estimate is that folks there won't have power again until the middle of the week. So what can they do right now at home to try and stay cool as far as you're concerned?
Well, right now, I don't know, within the last 20 minutes, we've lost a significant amount of additional residents and power. At this point, I don't know whether they're doing rolling shutdowns or what they're doing. But again, I mean, you really don't have facilities if you don't have electricity. So if you want to stay cool, you're welcome to come here, and we will have this open. One of the things I do want to touch on, that we found 2 areas now, 2 homes, people are running generators, and our officers were able to identify 2 of the generators that people were running inside their houses. These are gasoline generators, and they're not designed to run inside the house. It's carbon monoxide, and it can kill you. So if you're running a generator, it has to be outside and has to be well ventilated.
Charles, that's a very important life-saving piece of information. Charles Keller, the Littlestown Borough Manager, thanks for joining us. Go back inside. Get as cool as you can today. Thank you. So to see the full list of locations, times, and days for cooling centers all across the Susquehanna Valley, we invite you to head to our website, WGAL.com. And as this heat wave develops, you'll want to stay up to date with the forecast and make sure you have it everywhere you go. Download the WGAL app and turn on the alerts.
It was an incredible and overwhelming success. We devastated the Iranian nuclear program.
The other major story we're following this morning is the developing conflict in the Middle East. After the U.S. hit 3 Iranian nuclear sites this weekend, Iranian media is reporting 2 new strikes today. They say the underground nuclear enrichment site at Fordo was hit again, and an Israeli strike hit a prison in Tehran. Israel's defense minister says the Air Force struck the heart of Tehran and attacks will continue over the coming days. All of this comes as Iran says it fired a new round of missiles and drones at Israel. And now the world is watching and waiting for Iran's response. News 8's Amy Liu has more from Washington as the U.S. is now on high alert to see what happens next.
We're here at the White House where President Donald Trump is set to meet with his national security team later on this afternoon as the U.S. braces for a possible retaliatory strike from Iran after the bombing of its nuclear sites. Now, President Trump actually ordered this to happen over the weekend. He claimed success and then also said Iran's nuclear program was completely obliterated. But now the State Department is warning Americans, including troops and really anyone across the world, to take extra caution. It's drawn mixed reaction from lawmakers here in Washington. There are some Republicans saying that the U.S. should not be getting involved in these so-called forever wars happening abroad. But then most Republicans are falling in line with President Trump, saying that this was needed in order to end Iran's nuclear program for good. Reporting at the White House, I'm Amy Liu.
And here in Pennsylvania, Governor Josh Shapiro weighed in on the strikes during an interview at Pocono Raceway. Here's what he says about those attacks on Iran.
Our job every single day is to ensure the safety and well-being of the good people of Pennsylvania. So the first thing I want to say to the people of Pennsylvania is our security team, our state police, Homeland Security, and others, we've been in dialogue with one another to make sure that there is no threat to the Commonwealth as a result of what happened overseas. There is no threat. The people of Pennsylvania are safe, and we're going to remain vigilant in our work here to keep the people of Pennsylvania safe.
Republican Congressman Scott Perry, who represents Dauphin County and parts of Cumberland and York counties, says the world is safer because of the president's decision. Perry also says he hopes this is the U.S. military's final role in the war. Republican Congressman Dan Muser, who represents Lebanon County, is calling the attack justified after he says Iran rejected a peaceful resolution. Muser says the strike sent a clear message that Iran should never have a nuclear weapon. And Republican U.S. Senator Dave McCormick applauding the action, saying the president is standing by his word. The strikes had support from both sides of the aisle in Pennsylvania. Democratic Senator John Fetterman says the president made the correct move. He says Iran is the world's leading sponsor of terrorism and cannot have nuclear capabilities. Not all Democrats are behind the move. DNC Vice Chair and State Representative Malcolm Kenyatta says if Congress is serious about stopping the abuse of power, the only tool left is impeachment. Protests are underway across the country in response to these Iranian nuclear strikes on the Iranian nuclear sites. Anti-war protesters gathered near the White House in D.C. yesterday, one of more than a dozen protests organized across the country. Protesters were also out in Times Square, New York City, and out west near a federal building in Los Angeles. Organizers say they are against the escalating tensions and potential U.S. involvement in the Israeli-Iran conflict. The U.S. military strikes on Iran sites could impact you at the gas pump. Oil prices surged late yesterday, and some experts say oil prices could now go as high as $80 a barrel. The price of oil has not been that high since January of last year, and has stayed between $60 and $75 a barrel. That has helped keep gas prices under $3 a gallon for many Americans. Experts, though, predict those prices will likely rise, and that will reignite inflation concerns across the country. At the last check, AAA says the average price for a regular gallon of gas in Pennsylvania is around $3.37. It's slightly higher than last week's average of $3.29 a month ago. The average price was $3.31. And to follow the latest updates as this story develops, including any reaction from Iran, we invite you once again to head to our website, WGAL.com. State police are investigating a deadly motorcycle crash in Adams County. The coroner tells News 8 that this crash happened around 4:30 this morning at the intersection of Heidlersburg Road and Guernsey Road in Butler Township. They say Corey Higgs died at the scene. Dispatchers say no other vehicle was involved. The road was closed for about 2 hours this morning as police investigated. State police say a bike rider died after a car hit him in Bart Township, Lancaster County. Troopers say Joseph Riga was riding a bicycle at an intersection on Bartville Road and Bell Road and did not stop at the stop sign. State police say the driver of the car did not have a stop sign on Bell Road and hit the bike rider. They say this happened just before 11:30 Saturday morning. Troopers say Riga was taken to the hospital where he later died from his injuries. We now know the identity of a body found in the Susquehanna River in Manor Township, Lancaster County. The coroner identified the man as Indrajit Singh of Harrisburg. According to the coroner, Singh's family reported him missing on June the 18th. His cause of death is still under investigation, though. Police arrested a man after they say he stabbed another man to death over the weekend in Harrisburg. Investigators say it happened inside a home on Kensington Street around 9:30 on Saturday night. The suspect, Anthony Long, was arrested around 3 yesterday morning in connection with the killing and is now charged with criminal homicide. And the condition of a person stabbed in Lancaster County remains unclear at this hour. Emergency dispatchers say this happened around 7 Saturday night on East King Street. In Cumberland County, emergency dispatchers say a vehicle crashed into a building on East Main Street in Mechanicsburg. Dispatchers say this happened around 9 yesterday morning, and there are no reports of anyone being hurt.